Peace to the family. Great to see y'all. Happy to be back as always. I'm in love with y'all. And so here's another installment as I have a little bit more free time. Things are going great. As you know, I have an amazing deal that's working out for me. So it keeps me smiling. I'm extra happy. You know, I had a Negro ask, how can you trust a brother that smiles so much at his age? And I'm just saying, some of y'all are so depressing. Some of y'all are so depressing. What's up, Luca? Peace to Mont Hoskin. What's good with you, Alexander? Hey, Mocha. This one is definitely going to be fire. You right, Daniel. Isaiah Smith, pardon me. But what's up, Daniel? May God bless you too, Rodney Gage. Let's get that in. I appreciate the sentiment. When I'm going back to the Breakfast Club, when I decided to come out of retirement, yeah, I got to see Vlad and all these people again. From Angola, Africa. What's up, Victor? I appreciate you coming through. Well, for starters, you're going to need this. To join our mentorship program to learn how to amass wealth in real time, I'm back and I'm black. However, I do need you to sign up in real time because I'm not taking as much as people as I was taking before on account to the new projects that I have in front of me. One, and additional things that I'm already involved in that's going real good for me. So, but I'd be remiss if I didn't make mention of certain other nuances when it comes to monies. So I just wanted to share this video so at the very least you get the information for absolutely free and you can compile all the free data that I've been given to still empower you nonetheless. You can take a lot of these videos that I put out for free and you can really go to work and take some notes. That's why these videos are here. And for those of you that take the next step, I don't mind coaching you so long as you're available in real time. You always have to forward your full name and your phone number to brother Polight 45. Brother Polight 45 at gmail.com. Brother Polight 45 at gmail.com. And you send your full name and your phone number and we'll get it in. But I just want to thank you all for keeping in tune with us. And without further ado, I want to talk to you about what they don't tell you about money. So for starters, for those of you that avoid paying taxes, I'm talking on a minuscule level. Those of you that's making less than $40,000 a year, I have a session coming up where we'll be talking about the IRS and taxation. It's Brother Polight 45 at gmail.com. Brother Polight, not bro, brother. I'm gonna ask y'all, stop putting bro Polight 45. I'm starting to think that's on purpose. But brother Polight 45 at gmail.com. Thanks 7 Series said I'm the best to ever do it. And we'll be coming back with the homeschooling as well. Let's do it. Okay. The email is brother. That's for Yukahu. We asked for it again. Brother BROTHER, brother POLIGHT 45 at gmail.com. P-O, light, like light bulb, LIGHT 45 at gmail.com. Now, without further ado, let's get into this money talk. Let's get into the money talk. Let's get into the money talk. Brother, ER, with an ER. That's a good question. BROTHER, brother. Polight, POLIGHT 45 at gmail.com. And be sure to share this because you want your friends and your family to get this information for absolutely free so they can wake up. Be sure to share this. So number one thing is, for those of you that's making less than $50,000 a year, one thing that you should consider when it comes to paying taxes is the fact that let's give you an example of what takes place with us traditionally. You're entitled, if you're making a little bit of money, if you got low income, and depending on if you're single, if you got 1 or 2 children, as an example, you're entitled to about $3,000 just because of your low income. I'm saying this in the most comprehensive sense, because we're going to do a session on this. I'm going to have a whiteboard, and we're going to really go over taxes, even how to do your taxes on a minuscule level. Anything that's accelerated, I would like you to just go and ask for a service from somebody else, but there are things you can do, and I know a lot of us are nervous to do our own taxes, but there are things you need to know. And for those of you that say you don't have money, you don't necessarily have to claim people's children to get you some money either. And if you're in a lower income bracket, you can be entitled anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 upward. And here's the problem. This reality, right, that many of us are not familiar with, that I'm about to speak of, is what's hindering you. Here's an example, case in point. Let's say you get a raise at your job and they give you an extra $1.25, extra 50 cents, or whatever the case may be. And now you're making, let's say now because you're raised, you're making an extra $1,500 a year from that little raise they gave you, and you take it. Now you no longer qualify for the $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 that you were supposed to get. So some of you are accepting raises whereby the IRS will actually owe you more money if you didn't accept the raise. But first of all, you have to know that they owe you money. You're not the only one that can owe them money. They be owing you money. And the trick is, when you see suddenly that companies give you raises, especially in the lower income community, that's because the tax laws vary from one year to the next. And because the tax laws vary from one year to the next, they're likely to give people raises. So when they get raises, they will scale in at a dollar amount annually that contradicts that which they should be paying you. So now that you take in the extra $1,500, $2,000 on account to the 50-cent raise or the dollar raise that they've been giving you, now you can't qualify for the $5,000 upward or a little lower that you're due as a lower income individual. Okay, these are facts. So I'm just prepping you. I'm prepping you for the information that's to come. All right, so that's going to be a very good class. I want y'all to sit in for the tax session. It's absolutely free. So it doesn't hurt you none. All you got to do is double check what I'm saying and look it up. And I'll give you some references. I'll tell you where to go on the IRS site to read exactly what I will be reading while I do it live. And this is just for your personal benefit. This information is for your personal benefit. I'm not a lawyer of any sort. I'm sharing information as I learn it myself or as I experience it myself. And so long as I feel that it's working and it's empowering, I share it. But it's still your responsibility to double check and make sure this information is accurate. But many of you are not filing taxes, afraid, not knowing every year you should be getting your 3 to 5K. A lot of you saying, I don't got much money and my income looks horrible. Then you should be getting money then. This is money that they owe you. And they'll turn around and tell you owe back taxes for several years. You need to turn around and tell them, well, you know what, I wasn't aware that you owed me money for the last 10 years. So cash in on your 30 bands or cash in on your 15 bands. Do what you got to do. You see, this is just important information for those people who need startup money and they got to start from somewhere. Okay? And that's why I'm sharing this information. Another thing that many people need to understand, when I do this mentorship program, I want y'all to really listen to me. I gotta walk and talk sometimes. They wanted to medicate me in school because I didn't know how to stay still. I used to be like, man, I at least need the hall pass. Let me go to the bathroom or something. Because I had to walk. I couldn't sit in there for no 40 minutes every class listening to a teacher with this monotone. Used to throw me off. Used to throw me off. Yeah. So it's all good. Anybody that puts the wrong email address from this point forward, I will block them. It's sad that this is what people do, because the energy that they put towards stopping free information that I'm telling you to just look up the information, the energy that they put forth just shows you how demonic people can really be. Why would they stop free information? A lot of people don't have a lot of money. So if I'm giving you advice, if I'm giving you incentives to go in a certain direction to get information and to check it out to make sure that you can verify it, and if I'm letting you know, well, here comes another free class. A free class is coming, and I want to make sure that you are prepared for the ideas that I will be deliberating on for the free class in order that it may empower you, your friends, your family. Why on earth would people send you to a direction that has nothing to do with it? And in fact, a direction that's probably void. These email accounts probably don't even exist that they writing up. But these are all rhetorical questions, of course. You know why? Because we know why people are doing what they're doing. You know why they're doing what they're doing. And I guarantee you, these are the same people who need money. I guarantee you, the same people that's doing this stuff are the same people that need money. I can guarantee you that. So poor mentality, poor people. So long as you're wealthy in mind, it's inevitable that you will succeed unless you have low self-esteem, unless you don't believe in yourself. I like to always be around water when I do my thing. Yep. But again, it's brother, POLIGHT45@gmail.com. Always send your full name and your phone number for the mentorship. The mentorship does cost. So that's what it is. Consultations do cost too. I charge $200 an hour for consultations. And those consultations will work with you based on holistic health and or financial gain. You know, we'll talk to you and we'll build with you. And we'll see what it is that we can do with you to connect on a certain level to help you be able to have a more fluid and expansive disposition when it comes to embarking upon that path of amassing wealth. Okay? But yeah, you know, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. So the next thing that I'd like to talk to you about, okay? What are my credentials? B. and Wood. Oh, I'm a 10th grade dropout. I would like to forewarn you, everybody. My credentials are I'm a 10th grade dropout that's making a lot of money. So there's a lot of broke people with credentials that will tell you everything about this information. Not this particular information, not in the order and not with the conviction. But there's a lot of people with credentials who are broke. A lot of the teachers in the public school system are broke. Facts. People in the public school system are broke. I can tell you where I live. It costs me over $75,000 a year to just pay for where I live. One of my homes. And that's just, it's because it's a luxury apartment. And that's like 2 times that of the amount of the average school teacher's salary. It's almost 2 times the amount of the average policeman, but let's stay on school. So I dropped out of school 10th grade, and the average school teacher can't afford to live where I live twice. You feel me? Because I make I spend what they make twice as far as their income is concerned. Am I better than them? No. I may have some access to information that they don't know, and that happens. So for the person that asked me what are my credentials, I'm not even taking it personal. It's a good question. I hope they didn't ask it with the intention to undermine me. I don't know. So I'm going to take it for what it is, a question. And no, I do not have no credentials whatsoever. I have absolutely no credentials. Let me say that, and let me say it with pride. And many of the, like the billionaire that I just cut this deal with for a little less than 7 figures, he doesn't really have too much credentials either if it's about education. He has companies and businesses, but I'm going to tell you this. Smart people know to hire people who have less money with credentials to run their business. I'll tell you that. So depending on how successful you become, you hire the people with credentials. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens. A lot of wealthy people hire the people who have the credentials to run the businesses. And it's their responsibility to learn enough so they could become entrepreneurs one day with the opportunities that the wealthy give them. These are facts. I know 50 Cent said he didn't go to college, but he has a lot of Harvard grads working for him. And I said, that was interesting. That was a dope comment. It runs right concurrent with what I be saying oftentimes, that wealthy people without credentials hire people with less money with credentials to help run their business. And that's how the world runs. So you could just decide what level you need to be on. You fall for that story. Oh, you know, you need to go to school, you need to get this. No, I'm with all of that. If that's what you want to do with your life and that's what's in your heart, and you definitely need to be certified or qualified to be able to execute in certain ways in this lifetime. So I'm not against people going to school. I'm against people going to school under false pretense. I'm for people going to school for the purposes of getting information that they feel there's a disconnect when it comes to learning and they think that the school forum is probably a better forum for them to learn. Or I'm with people saying, well, you know what, I have to get certain certification or credentials because I won't be able to operate in a certain capacity unless I get that information, unless I get qualified. And in that way, you could be a service to yourself, your community, your family, and so forth and so on. So that's why school is very important nonetheless. So I'm not anti-school, but I'm anti-going to school under false pretense, because school doesn't guarantee you'll make money. That's the problem. And the two institutions you have to be the most wary of, it's not the Brother Polight institution on Facebook, not the Brother Polight information that gives us, not the Brother Polight institution that gives us information for free. You have to worry about the school institution and the banking institution, because those are the people, those are the institutions that put everybody in debt. Those are the institutions. If you have a Wells Fargo account, if you don't, you're probably going to open up one, despite the fact that they've said, hey, we'd like to let y'all know that we stole $5 million or $50 million from our customers, and we owe everybody some money. If you got Wells Fargo, you've seen these emails last year. If you got Bank of America, you've seen these emails 2 years ago. But every day, despite these emails, people are still opening up bank accounts with them, aren't they? And it's still going to them, asking them for advice on the homes that they want to purchase, aren't they? So you're going to the criminals to be educated about how to spend money with them in order for you to buy that which they'll be selling to you. But you want to detour people from me so you could go to them. And then there's also school, where many of you owe $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 in student loan. You owe $30,000 in student loan, right? And then you don't even get the job that you're looking for. Or when you do get the job, they may even help you get the job so you can pay it off the debt. When do you get any freedom is the question. It's damn near like it's damn near working to become an NBA player as far as attempting to be very successful from school and having the type of lifestyle that you endeavor to have. It's almost impossible. It's almost like working to get into the NBA draft to hopefully be a first round or second round draft pick. Think about it. How many people who go to school actually are succeeding in ways where you look at them and say, man, I want to live just like them? It's like the NBA out there. How many people actually succeed after school in levels where you can say, man, if that's what school is doing, I'm down with it? Because the truth of the matter is, and this is not a knock towards school, this is reality, the two institutions that's going to put you into debt are the ones that everybody says you need to go to, which is the banks and the schools. It's just the way the design is, and I'm going to tell you why. And if y'all listen to me often, you would know from pre-K to 12th grade, that's 14 years of schooling. 14 years of schooling. Thanks, we almost got 1,000 people live. I dig it. There's 14 years of schooling. Okay? 14 years of schooling, and they don't teach you how to sew. They don't tell you nothing about holistic health when it comes to cooking food. And they don't tell you nothing about mortgages or the deeding process as it relates to real estate. They also don't teach you about credit. Why is this important? Well, let's think about this, family. They don't teach you about food, clothing, and shelter. So you leave there not knowing how to make your own clothes, not knowing how to cook your own food. They may give you pizza for home ec, and I already told you that's ridiculous, because number one ingredient that they're going to tell you about is milk, and we know milk is allowed to have 750,000 somatic cells, a euphemism for pus. And it's also allowed to have 24,000 live bacteria before the Food and Drug Administration takes it off the shelf. And it's also allowed to be pasteurized, a process in which they use radiation to prolong the shelf life of that milk. So you're drinking radiated pus. And that's one of the ingredients for the pizza. And they'll tell you in school, this is one of the healthiest things that you can ever eat. They'll tell you that for home ec. You got to work real hard to deal with that white flour. And they're not going to tell you use spelt flour or kamut flour or amaranth flour. No, they're not. What they're going to tell you to do is take this milk, take this eggs, take these cheese, take the milk, take these eggs, take the cheese, get this flour. They ain't going to tell you nothing about what's acidic, what's alkaline. They ain't going to tell you about potential hydrogen. They're not going to tell you nothing about any of those things. Facts. They're not going to tell you none of these things. So school is supposed to prepare you as an adult. Therefore, it's supposed to teach you how to facilitate when it comes to food, clothing, and shelter. Share this video. Wake people up. Food, clothing, and shelter is what we should be going to school for. Because at the end of the day, these are the three things that hold us down when we're poor. Food, clothing, and shelter. We're looking to buy clothes and keep some clothes on our back and our children's back, but we don't even know how to crochet. We don't know how to sew, and if we did, it was passed down information, but not passed down from one school to the next, not passed down from one textbook to the next. I mean, look at the hustle of the school. They saying, man, after every semester, we're going to charge you for these books, and these books are going to be expensive, and we're going to give you some student aid money, but you're going to wind up being so poor, you're going to wind up using some of that for your clothes and your shoes, and then you're going to buy the books, and then you're going to find out, damn, these books is expensive, and they're not even letting me recycle it so I can pass it down to my homies because it's a hustle. Because it's a hustle. And they slick. They never want you to really see a cashier when you go to the bank, and they never want you to see a cashier when you go to school. Because as long as you don't see a cashier, you don't think someone's hustling you. It's real funny. As much as money that is involved with school, you'll never see a cashier. Ain't that interesting? But you wind up coming out of that joint owing $30,000. And you ain't seen one cashier. But worry about the brother. Just enlightening you. Share the video. Those of you interested in the mentorship program, you go to brother, Polight 45 at gmail.com. Brother, spell it the right way. Brother, Polight 45 at gmail.com. So yes, I don't have no credentials. My only credentials, as my publicist says, is my results. Like when I have relationship counseling, because I do relationship counseling, it's a form of consultations. Consultations, $200 an hour. Okay, it's $250 when dealing with the couple. And people say, what gives you the right to have relationship counseling? Well, if you happen to be of my race especially, and I've been in my first relationship since 12 and 13 years old with my first wife, and we're still together for 19 years, and guess what? March will make 20 years. 2 decades. How many of you can say in your 30s you've been with somebody for 20 years? I'm proud to be able to tell my daughter as she turns 12 years old in July, Leo like myself, I'm proud to be able to tell her that our relationship is older than her. Ain't that deep? By almost a decade. Our relationship is an entity in itself, and this is what I teach people during the relationship counseling. It's $250 an hour. I have no credentials other than the fact that I've been with somebody for almost 2 decades. March 9th will be 20 years with Aminetta Tumre. And our relationship is older than our child. Our relationship is older than a lot of your children. Our relationship will be 20 years old. We're still nurturing it. Okay? I have to hug my relationship. And my wife has to breastfeed our relationship. We have to treat the relationship as an entity in itself. That's what relationships are. Both sides have to give it the nutrition. A lot of people's relationships are malnutrition. It's missing the love. It's missing the action. Love is a verb. It's an action word. We got to apply these principles and tenets. And you do know my lover's law, family is business construct, where any word that you're looking to use to identify with love most likely has an economic precedence. So whether it's trust that you're looking for a relationship, but we know trust is property held on behalf of one so that another may benefit. You may be looking for friendship, but legally a friend is one who's willing to invest in you or one you're willing to invest in. All right. You may be looking for consideration. That's when 2 parties agree that there's an asset that they both consider mutually to be beneficial to both of them, both parties. So then in turn, what they say is, you know what? I feel I should invest in it. You feel you should invest in it. Let's set up a contract. Let's work together. That's called consideration. And then that which they invest in appreciates, particularly like in real estate. Let's say both parties put into a contract, have it held in trust, this house, and then the house starts making the money because they have tenants or they sell it. This property appreciates, and then that's what you're looking for in a relationship, appreciation. So we got consideration, we got appreciation, we got trust. Okay, we got friendship, we got bonding, because now we're going to talk about the debt obligation. Because now the male he can give her the property in a form of dowry, or a percentage of the property as a form of dowry, or simply say you can have it when it's done, or we're going to split it down the line 50-50. So now we're talking about shares. Okay, so we got bonding, we got sharing, we got trust, we got consideration, we got appreciation, we got friendship. Walk with me, family. Walk with me. Love is law, family is business. And therefore, you got a sense of security, which is a paper certificate that attests to ownership and equity, as in the case of a stock, or ownership of a bond, as in the case of debt obligation, which has tradable derivatives. And all this merely means is that you're going to have on paper everything that I just discussed in the aforementioned. And we're going to be able to put into context what the value of that which we conceive to be mutually beneficial to both parties in the form of an asset, this bond, this debt obligation, it'd be codified or qualified by way of this instrument that's going to attest to how much that which we are invested in is worth. So we don't have to carry the asset in our back pockets. It could be held as a security. And therefore, we all want to benefit, and the beneficiary shall also be our children. But sometimes you could be the beneficiary of the same. Okay? So love is law, family is business. I hope you're walking with me. Love is law, family is business. And this is how I live. This is what I live by. So any sister that I'm working with in my polygynous paradigm, we have to be able to do business with each other. There has to be more business than arguing. There's always some money thing going on back and forth. We got to get it in. We can't be afraid to do it. And if you are in a compromising position where you find you can't do business with your significant other, get out the situation. You need a mentor. That's why I do mentoring. Relationship mentoring. Right there. Or consultations, as I say. Mentoring is the full-length program. Because you have to amass wealth. Because most of the reasons that our relationships don't last, honestly, is because of money. And most times, I'll tell you this, and this is honest. When women start freaking out because of their insecurities about having a lack of money, it impacts the man emotionally, because he knows, for the most part, he's doing his best, or he's doing what he conceives to be the best, and he may feel like, oh, you know, you're not actually helping me get the bread up. You kind of complaining to me about getting the bread. And without both parties really understanding each other and how it feels to come up short as a man, and how it feels to grow insecure as a woman who understands, well, you know what, I want to have children, and she wants to be able to protect and provide for them, or she doesn't want to wind up breaking up and having absolutely nothing when the man leaves. These are insecurities that have to be addressed by both parties. This is the emotional context to security, bonding, sharing, trust, appreciation, consideration. We need both. But what I tell you is this: one precedes the other, and it should be the financial aspect that precedes the other. I know what I'm talking about. I don't have the credentials, but I can tell you this. People with the credentials got to go to the book. I just recite everything that I know. And I do this, and I don't have nobody that's going to grade me and give me a 95% or 100% or an A+. I get my grade from life based on the results and the response that I get from the people that I love. Facts. These are all facts. I'm just going in. This is like straight from the dough. You know, people be telling me, I used to rap too, so that's probably why my memory is the way it is, because these are bars. I be spitting bars. These bars. Hashtag BARS, bars. But I just having fun. This is free time. Free time. It's just me on my free time, just building with you. But yes, everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a mentor. That's why I have the mentorship program. That's why I fall back for a while, and then I come back and say I'm ready. Once I get some people out of there and I get my situation straight and I handle my business, I get other people involved. You feel what I'm saying? So now I got a little space. Get in. It does cost bread. Consultations are cheaper. That's by the hour, $200 an hour for consultations, whether it's holistic health or finance, $250 an hour if it's for relationships, whether it's you and your spouse or whoever. Doesn't matter. It could be you and your child, the relationship between a parent and a child. Doesn't matter. It's very important. And for those who say, why do you have to charge? And then, of course, the mentorship program definitely costs money, because we talking about amassing wealth, which brings me to the next level of conversation. And this is very important. This is very important. Share the video, family. Share the video. You know it's important. Share the video. Tell people it's a must-see. A lot of information is being dropped. be patient before the brother POLIGHT45@gmail.com, because we went through quite a bit just to get that off. Because once I'm done, is that with an ER? Yes. Is that lights and light bulb? Yes. Hold on, someone just wrote bro. No. So we had to go through all of that. Yeah. And that's why I did those debates. And one of the main reasons I did the debates and the direction that I want to go to in the future is because I wanted to show people, don't feel minimized if you wasn't raised with a background where you was privy to people preparing for your future properly, where they already had monies for you to go to the best schools, not your zone school. You feel what I'm saying? I do this for the community. So when I do those debates and I stand up there with the pride and I break that information down and I go in and I recite and I say what I have to say to inspire and motivate people, I do that to give you the conviction to say, you know what, if this black man went to prison and was locked up for murder and all this other stuff, and he came home and he was in the projects and he dropped out of school at 10th grade, that's not something I'm celebrating as far as, yeah, I dropped out of school. That's something to say for those of you who may find yourself in similar situations or circumstances. Don't let no one convince you that you cannot come up. Do not let them do that. Don't let nobody give you the impression that just because you ain't grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth, or just because things are tough for you right now, don't let them convince you that you don't have the right to live better and that you can not do better. I'm living testament that that's a lie. If you get nothing else from me, if you get absolutely nothing from this, all I want you to know is you can. That's the affirmation today. You can. And if no one told you, someone that's doing good is telling you that. You can. Facts. Absolute facts. Absolute facts. If you take nothing from this, I just want to let you know you can before I continue off with the rest of my day. Because when I turn this stream off, and when the phone cut, most likely, because I normally give it up to the phone cut. You can. And I'm going to be doing a lot more lives again, because I got to when I find that free time, it is what it is. Okay, now the screen is getting dark. We coming to the final hour. I have some more information I want to share too, but I don't want to get cut off in the middle of me talking that talk. Oh boy, man, time go by so quick. We're gonna have to follow this up. Make sure you share this video. I really wanted to do some work, but it's all right. It's all right, because actually the way I timed it, by the time the phone would get ready to cut, I would have to get ready to move on to my other engagement. Actually get dressed for my other engagement. I get ready to get washed up, freshen up and everything, and hit the road, continue to do what I do now on the music end of things, because you know I'm managing artists and it's looking good. And I just got a very wealthy investor, billionaire, bought into my vision per my work ethic and my network, seeing me with so many different celebrities. It's investing a hefty size bag. I'm winning. You know, I'm really excited about it. And because of my excitement in light of my success, at the very least, what I can do is share some free information to get you jump started, get you motivated. Hopefully you at work. Hopefully you just came home from work. Hopefully if you was down, I just picked you up and told you, man, pick it back up. But I want you to go to brother, POLIGHT45 at gmail.com. Brother, spelled the regular way, BROTHER, Polight, POLIGHT 45 at gmail.com. If you're interested in any of the consultations, which is by the hour, in person is $300, $250 for couples if it's about relationships, and $200 an hour just in general. It's about holistic health or economics or whatever. We're going to go in, I'm going to spread it out, and I'm going to show you how to make things work out for you. Okay? I'll give you some order, whether we employ Six Sigma resource allocation or we delegate the responsibility to some other genre of science or math to help you organize your thoughts so you could better be able to execute. All right, I'm very meticulous in my approach towards these consultations. And then, of course, the more expensive and effective wealth building stratagem that will be employed is through the mentorship program. So yes, that does cost, but during the mentorship program, you make money, which is the beautiful part about it. And I coach you for 12 times a month, 3 days out the week, 30 minutes at a time. And those 30-minute sessions comprise of the days of the week that your schedule and my schedule is the most compatible. Okay, so that's for the mentorship program. Do not have people convince you to hesitate, procrastinate, wait around, because guess what? You did that already. You've been there, you've done that. Do what you can. Fix your family. I love y'all.